Okay, Dreamer, please.
Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we're checking out floor 6 for Tower of Trials. We're going straight in. This floor will be better off if you have a Yonhee at T2, but if you don't have, you can actually run this particular team with Ruri at the back and Yonhee in front for magic attack boost. If you do have Yonhee at T2, you can use Yonhee at the back and instead use Valika in her place so that you have a faster skill cooldown. Because Valika does help you to reduce your skill cooldown whenever she does her basic attacks, allowing you to attack more frequently and with more efficiency. So if you do not, then you can actually run this particular team, okay, with Ruri at the back. If you do not have Ruri, you can even use Sarah at the back. Okay, just take note that for this particular floor for Knox, he actually deals more damage when Demonic Pact is active, which means when Sarah is active, I believe. Okay, and he also helps to revive them when they die. So the reviving is the main thing for this particular floor because he will revive his very capable allies who can, put you in some difficulty, especially Klops. Okay, because he actually does buff the defense of the team and he also does have 100% chance to stun. So ideally you will not want him to stun you, so you want to quickly clear kill the front line as soon as you can. So it is very important to make sure that you have an AoE damage dealer here to be able to hit the front line fast and with a lot of damage. Knox also has a taunt, so you definitely don't want to use a single target damage dealer. So upon entering the stage, we'll buff with Biscuit and then use Lina's buff as well. This is really to ensure that you do the maximum possible amount of damage and then use Ruri's skills to quickly kill off the front line. They will tend to prioritize Sarah's skills because Sarah's skills are more buff oriented. Okay, so as you can see, we clear off the front line with one shot. If you have difficulty doing this with within one shot, okay, then you have to look at your gears and potentially possible support. But for this particular team, you do have Yonhee here to buff Ruri's damage, so it's actually pretty strong. So here he revives both of them, and if he doesn't revive both of them, he actually heals them. So this is something you want to keep in mind. So upon revival, use Ruri's bottom skill and then use Yonhee's skill to quickly kill off either one of them or even both of them. Stun is very unfortunate here, unfortunately, but hopefully you do not get any of your damage dealers stunned, because if you do, I think it's best to reset the run and try for better RNG. Ideally, you want to keep Ruri's skills, one skill available, so every time he revives, you can quickly get rid of them so that you wouldn't be taking too much damage, because after all, they do buff his damage output. So the only issue, again, for this particular run, I feel is a very lengthy run in general. You just have to spend a lot of time trying to chip down his HP because he does have very high HP. If the buffs are available from Lina and Biscuit, use them again so that you can maintain your damage output. Of course, I think most of the time these buffs will likely help you for one particular hit, because it will take some time for him to use the revive again, and you definitely do not want to use Ruri's skills until then. So between now and him using the revive, it's really just throwing whatever random skills you have, because you probably will need at least 2 or 3 skills to kill off the front line again, because as we saw earlier, Ruri isn't strong enough to kill off the front line with her bottom skill alone, so we will need Yonhee's skills to complement that. Very luckily, we do manage to kill both with just one Yonhee skill here, so thereafter you can just either not use skills or just use random skills such as Biscuit's top skill or Leo's skills. You likely don't want to use Biscuit's buffs and Lina's buffs until you see that his cooldown for the revival skill is almost ready. Then you can start preparing for it. So this is something you need to manage manually as well, because if you use the buffs too early and you just let the turns go by, then the buffs will just get used up and it won't be useful for your main purpose, that is to get rid of the front line. So as mentioned, because Sarah's skills are more buff oriented, she will tend to buff defense and do all sorts of buffs for the team first, And then less seldom does Klops actually use the stun skill first. But if you are really unfortunate and he does stun you, you can either try to wait it out and hopefully you don't take too much damage, or you know, it's really unlucky and you have to reset the entire run, because that happened to me towards the end of my actual run, of my initial tries. Klops actually used stun on me and my entire team was stunned and I could not do anything about it, unfortunately. So yeah, these are some things you may encounter. So there's again nothing too much, you know, towards for this particular run. It's really just about healing when needed and then just throwing useless skills in between, and then once they are revived, you toggle between Ruri's top skill and a combination of other Ruri skills and Yeonhee skills to get this over with. So I'll be fast forwarding the run towards the later part where his HP is much lower, because you know, ultimately the process is the same. As long as you're Hero's Live, you will be able to clear this particular floor, and take note that even if Knox dies, it doesn't mean your run has ended. You have to clear all 3 units, okay? So this is a 6 medal run, and with that we are going into floor 12. Floor 12 is also new. These 2 floors are new for this particular season of Tower of Trials. In floor 12 you face Coco. Over here we are using Carl and Shane, because you realize that you do have to use single target attacks at some point, and then Carl is mainly to get rid of the minions. Okay, so it kind of works similarly to the Knox one, where this Coco can revive his other hamster friends, and he also is able to cast a lot of shock on you. So that is why we do need to use Chloe here as well for shock immunity. In terms of gears, we do have Biscuit on the block set to reduce as much damage taken as possible. Lena is also on the block set with HP percentage on the main stats. For Chloe here, she's on the block set as well to maximize her survival capabilities. And then for Shane, she's on the Avenger set to boost her damage output against bosses, which is this floor in particular. And then for Kyle as well, he's on the Avenger set, again to boost damage output against bosses mainly. I'm using a crit pad here, okay, depending on how much crit percentage you have. If you have very high crit percentage, you can use an attack pad as well. So first thing, as per normal, you will apply your buffs. You realize that Coco actually revives his troop of hamsters here first, okay, before you can do anything. But nonetheless, just buff as per normal with Biscuit's buff, with Lena's buff. Okay, over here I was testing out the damage. You realize that they're actually not that strong. So if you actually buffed with Lena, there's a very high chance that you could potentially just wipe them out with the first Carl skill. They do quite substantial damage. So just keep in mind your HP, of course, of your units. If necessary, heal when you do not have any more Carl attacks. Okay, but otherwise, you can actually just buff with Chloe as well. You can also use Shane's skills to land the single target damage on the main Coco itself. And then once the minion comes up, use Kyle's AoE. Basically, you want to save Kyle's AoE for the minions. Okay, so you definitely do not want to be spamming Kyle's skills, you know, whenever they are ready. Just make sure that one skill is always ready on hand to take off the minions as soon as they are revived. So once the buff is ready, you can actually just use the buff again. Over here, ideally you can use Shane's single target on the main Coco, but if you were to monitor his cooldown, because he was already ready to use the revival skill, it will be better for us to actually use the Cow skill to try to get rid of the hamsters as soon as you can. Because I think over here you will realize that if you do not get rid of the hamsters as fast as you can, then there's really no chance for you to use Shane's attacks on him itself. Carl almost died over here, so yeah, this sometimes it can be a little tricky. Make sure you have your continuous healing available so that you are able to also heal passively. So yeah, Chloe here is not just, you know, for shock immunity. She also acts as a very good attack buffer and crit rate buffer. So just in case, you know, your Carl lacks in certain of these aspects, Chloe can actually help to compensate for that. The HP is a very big issue here, so I can honestly say this was a really lucky run, because I feel like any harder, you know, if Coco hits any harder, Carl is definitely dead and my run will have to be reset. Here you kind of have to observe whether using Carl's skills or Shane's skills is more timely, but as you can see, Carl actually uses his basic attack here, so you can safely use Shane's skill to land a single target damage on the main Coco. This will have to take some you know, good reflex, you know, if you know what I mean, because if you were to use the wrong skill, then you would have wasted Carl's skill on a single target, and that won't be the most efficient way of doing things, because imagine doing that and Coco actually revives his entire troop. You won't have any AoEs for a longer period of time to clear off the minions, and then you could potentially face, you know, the risk of taking so much more damage because, you know, all 5 of them are ganging up on you. So again, Carl's HP is, whoa, almost on the line. But we hang in there, and of course we heal instantly whenever it's ready. And then after buffing with Biscuit and Lina, okay, once their buffs are already applied, quickly use Carl's skill to get rid of the hamsters, saving Shane's skill for the main one.
I'll show you the power of a ninja! Take this! End of the tunnel! Disappear!
So he does manage to kill Carl here, but I do have immortality ring. If you do not have an immortality ring, then unfortunately at that point you will have to restart the run, or you could just let Shane carry depending on how much HP you left on him. So I wish you guys all the best for these 2 new flaws. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments below. If you found this video helpful, do give it a like and subscribe to the channel. Stay tuned for more videos. Thank you so much and see you!